Okay, are you ready to absolutely set your glutes on fire? In today's video, I'm going to show you my must-have glute exercises. There's 5 exercises. I'm going to run through every single one with you. I'm going to run through the form, how to do it, what to avoid, and by the end of this video you will know exactly what to do to be able to grow some good peachy glutes. Doing just the exercises won't be enough to build the muscle. There's a few things that you need to tick off to ensure that your muscles are growing and continually growing. So number 1, progressive overload is a massive thing. So all this is continually putting pressure on your muscles to ensure that they are growing. But coming in hand with this is consistency. You need to be consistently doing the same exercises session on session so that you can measure your progressive overload. Progressive overload comes in so many different ways. It comes in increasing the weight, increasing the reps, increasing the sets, increasing the time under tension, and also increasing the tempo. Another thing you need to watch out on when trying to build muscle is food. Food is such a massive thing, especially your protein intake. To grow muscle, all you need is progressive overload. You don't necessarily need to eat more calories. However, to perform progressive overload week on week, to increase the intensity of your workouts week on week, you need energy, which can come with calories. So a calorie surplus is used as a tool to help us with our progressive overload. It's not necessarily needed scientifically, but it's a tool to kind of help us. Now, where I see a lot of people going wrong is they just pick up random Instagram workouts, random YouTube workouts, and just copy off them. You're not going to build muscle by doing this. You need to have a structured program, consistently executing it every single week to be able to grow muscle. You need to be improving on the same exercises week on week and tracking it week on week to be able to see whether you're improving and to be able to track that progression. A nice analogy I like to use is a video game. So look at progressive overload as a video game. In a video game, if you just repeated level 1 over and over and over again with the aim of completing the whole game, you would never get anywhere. Flip this around with progressive overload. If you just repeated the same workout with the same weight, with the same reps and the same sets every single week, you would stay at this level 1 and you'd not progress up to get your dream body, to get your goal body. It just wouldn't happen. Now, the first exercise I want to take you through is hip thrusts. Hip thrusts are the holy grail of glute exercises. This is the main one you need to be doing. This is the main compound for glutes. Okay, so I want to go through a few things with you before we start with the weight. Number 1, it starts with the bench. You need to have the right bench for your height. The main points that you need to focus on is ensuring that what you want is from your chest upwards to be isolated on the bench. Now, I know some gyms do have the high benches. For example, this one that I've got at home. If I was to put it up, it would be far too high for me. See that? I can't, you see that? I couldn't do that because look, there's just not enough stability there and my chest isn't isolated. From my chest upwards isn't isolated at all. If you do have this problem, there is a trick that you can do. So you could get another plate and place it just below your bench, right there. It obviously gives you some leverage so that now I can reach the bench, like you can see. Now from my chest up is on the bench and it's isolated, so I would be able to do that. But without that, as you can see, I'm far too low down. Now, for myself, I just like to put my bench on a decline because it works well for me and I just feel more comfortable like that. Work out what feels more comfortable for you. It doesn't need to be complicated. You can work it out for you no matter how little equipment you have, no matter how simple your gym is. You can make it work for you. Don't make that as an excuse to not do your hip thrust. Trust me. You can do them whatever equipment you have. So now we have the bench sorted, let's start off with the basics of the hip thrust. I'm so sorry if you can hear that airplane. Oh yeah, that's on it. I'm trying to record a YouTube video. Okay, let's move on. So what you want to start off with is, like I was saying before, putting your upper body on the bench. Now make sure you have flexibility from your chest downwards, because this is where the movement's going to happen. You want to make sure your chest upwards is absolutely isolated on the bench. This is key, and you want to make sure you're doing this to avoid your back from bending. So what you want to do, like I said, chest upwards, isolated on the bench. To keep this in lock, you want to retract your shoulder blades back. So what this means is just rolling them up and down so you aren't moving. Look, my upper body just is not moving now, but without that I can do this. So retract shoulder blades up and back so that your back and upper body is totally locked in. I can't move my chest upwards now. Next thing you want to take note on is to keep your chin tucked. This is so important because it assists this lock in the upper body. It keeps your whole body in line. I don't want you looking at the sky, I don't want you looking in the mirror, I don't want you looking at the guy walking past. I just want you to look forward and focus on the exercise. Don't get distracted by anything else in the gym. You need to stay focused and keep your head forward. You got that? Now let's talk about the movement. We want to move from the pelvis upwards. Imagine your tailbone being scooped. Okay, that's all we're going to do. Pelvis upwards, nothing else is moving, nothing else at all. While you're doing this, you want to make sure your shin downwards is vertical to the ground. We don't want it too far forward. This will cause more of it to go through our hamstrings. We don't want it too far back. This will cause more of it to go through our quads. We want to grow our glutes, so we want it vertical to the ground. Can you see that? Yeah, okay. So let's just run through. Chin tucked, retract shoulders back, chest upwards is totally isolated. We're just going to move our pelvis. So are you ready? Move pelvis up. Do you see how the whole of my chest upwards is totally isolated? I'm not moving a thing. My chin is tucked and my shins are vertical to the ground. And I'm literally just thrusting up through my pelvis. That is how your hip thrust needs to look. So what you want to do is make sure you have bumper plates. And the reason being is, look, now I can roll the weight onto my hips like that. If we didn't have these big bumper plates on, I wouldn't be able to do that, and it would just be difficult to do, okay? Also, make sure you have a barbell pad. This will protect your hips and save your body from being split into two. Honestly, I see girls around the gym doing this without a barbell pad, and I just don't know how to do it. I use this and I still get bruises on my hips after every single session. If you don't have one of these, or if your gym doesn't have one, you can buy them off Amazon for like £10 or something. Or if not, if you forget one day, use a hoodie, use a yoga mat, just use something there to protect your hips. Make sure the middle of the bar is going on your hips. If not, the bar will topple side to side, and that's just not what you want, especially when you've got a heavy weight. Okay, so you want to get your bar on your hips like this. Get comfortable on the bench, like I said before. Retract your shoulders back. When you've got a bar, to help your shoulders stay retracted back, you want to keep your arms straight. And you can either hold it underhand or overhand, just whichever's comfortable for you. So after we do this, we want to get our legs into place. Remember, we want it vertical to the ground, our shins vertical to the ground. Look forward, keep concentrated, keep focused, and keep your chin tucked. Chest upwards isolated, and all we're going to do is thrust upwards like this. Keep it controlled, we don't want to do it too fast. We want to feel the movement through our glutes. Now the next exercise I want to show you is very, very similar to the hip thrust. It's all the same points, all the same form, but it's called a calves glute bridge, and it just performs the top quarter of the hip thrust. So instead of resting at the bottom of the movement, we're just going to keep that tension in the top and repeat. This is really good for keeping tension in the glutes and really exhausting the muscle. Okay, so as you can see, exact same form as the hip thrust, exact same points, but all we're going to do is obviously thrust up. Once we get to the top, we're going to go halfway down like so, and then thrust back up. So a hip thrust is going all the way down like this and up. A calves glute bridge is going halfway down like this and then up. Halfway down, up. Halfway down, up. And you want to keep the tension in the glutes. You want to keep it slow and controlled, and you want to squeeze at the top to keep that tension in the glutes. The next exercise I want to talk about is a Romanian deadlift, an RDL. So this exercise focuses more on your hamstrings and your glutes. Now, the main thing that you want to note when doing an RDL is posterior pelvic tilt. So you want to keep your glutes tucked under like that, as you can see. You don't want to have this tilt in your back because that can put a lot of pressure on your lower back and you'll get pain in your lower back rather than your glutes, which isn't nice, trust me. I've been there, done that, got the medal, got the t-shirt, and it is not what you want to do. This is why I'm showing you how to do it. So, keep your glutes tucked, like so. You want to position your feet at shoulder width level. So, I always take these little shiny bits on the barbell as a reference. I always kind of position my feet in the middle of these shiny bits on the barbell. So, the main points you want to focus on is keeping your neck neutral to your spine, keeping your pelvis tucked. Imagine that you're being pulled back by a rope with your bum, and don't force the waist down with your upper body. Don't force the bar down with your upper body. This is a really big error that a lot of people make. Retracting the shoulder blades back to keep our back straight. We want to bend over by pushing our bum back. We want a slight bend down our knee. And we're just going to push our bum back, push our bum back. I'm not lowering my upper body at all. This is all push my bum back. And then we're going to slowly go up. At the top, we don't want to thrust out. That causes injury on our lower spine. So no thrusting out like this. We just kind of want to maintain a stance. So, like I said, push back with your bum, slight bend in your knee, neck neutral to your back. And as we go up, we kind of just maintain a neutral stance and back down. Keep your tension in this exercise. As we go down, we want to, with the barbell, we don't want to take the barbell too far away. We want to keep it as close to our body as possible, okay? So as you're going down, you want to keep the barbell as close to your body as possible. You don't want to move it too far away from your body. You want to keep it as close as possible. This will keep all the weight through your glutes. So, retract shoulder blades back, neck neutral to back. You want to lower the weight by pushing your bum backwards, like so. You will feel the tension right here. I can't go any further than that, so I'm going back up. Down, up. Imagine your arms are ropes as well. You don't want to kind of use your arms to pull the weight up. You just want to kind of view your arms as just holding the weight. The next exercise I'm going to talk about is Bulgarian split squats. Now, I know you're thinking, Bethany, I hate Bulgarian split squats. And I'm here to tell you that I do too. But we're going to do it together and we're going to do it properly so that maybe that pain is a little bit less. But girl, you've got to do Bulgarian split squats if you want to grow your glutes. It is just essential. It is just a game changer exercise. It is a holy grail. Okay? So let's do them. So what you're going to do, keep your head and neck neutral to your spine. Slightly tilt your upper body forward a little bit. This will allow more range of motion in the glutes, which is what we want. We want to grow the glutes. That's perfect. Okay? Get your position right, get your stance right until it's comfortable. Scoop your back knee under, like so. Once we're here, we're going to go up with our hip and knee at the same time. So as you can see, my knee and hips are going to extend at the same time, like that. What I don't want with this is for your hips to come up first, like this, or your knees to come up first, like this. Okay, so we want them both to come up at the same time to maintain a neutral stance. So, tilted body, neck neutral to your spine. We're going to scoop this back knee under. As we go up, we're going to come up with our knees and hips at the same time, and there we go. If you find it easy, if you're just starting off, you can hold on to something to help you balance until you kind of gauge that balance yourself. And there we go. That's it. That's a Bulgarian split squat. So the next exercise I want to talk about is a sumo squat. Now I'm going to do this with dumbbells, and I'm going to go through the main points of form with you. So for the form, what you want to do is have your feet quite far outwards, like so. You want to turn your toes outwards, and when you're going down, you don't want to butt wink. And what this means is this. So people do this where the bum winks under and up. We don't want that. We want to keep our pelvis posterior tilted. So this means keep it tucked in like this. Don't keep it tucked out, because this is where it focuses more on our lower back rather than our glutes. So in a goblet squat, keep it tucked in, get your stance right, and then go down. And as you can see, this avoids the butt wink that I was going on about earlier. And that's it for today, guys. I hope you enjoyed this video. If you did, don't forget to hit that thumbs up button and press subscribe so you don't miss another one of my videos. But yeah, that's it for now, and I shall see you in the next video.